recording it, or you need help to restart it?
It's okay. I'll get the recording. Yeah, I upgraded my internet here,
Okay.
and we improved the speed. Okay. Um, Before we begin, let me just illustrate something to you that's a pretty interesting principle, right? So one of the things I learned recently is that every business essentially has two components to it, right? It has a mission, but the mission is then broken down into kind of like two parts, okay? One part is there are going to be people whose goal it is to produce a service or product, okay? And then there's the other group of people, and this group of people's purpose is to sell the product or service. And that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much the main sort of business motivation behind each particular group of person. So either you are a producer or you're working somewhat in the sales of a particular product or service, okay? So Bai and I were just discussing, and we noticed that there's sort of a problem here actually. So, or sort of an opportunity too. Okay, if you look at, let's say, all the different levels of the guest journey, of the partner journey, of the employee journey. Okay, so there's essentially five different levels. It's the same as kind of like like what we've discussed before. And I'm just going to combine advocacy and awareness because the bottom sort of meets the top of the funnel again, right? So they have the same color and they have basically the same purpose. But if you look at it, this is actually pretty surprising. I didn't realize this. This is the only part of the company that actually works on building a product or a service, right?
Hmm.
HAR, community transformation, right? HR for bottom funnel employee wellness, employee transformation. That's it, right? So this is building a service that positively transforms our users. Okay, but that's it. All these other groups essentially work on selling the product and service. Whoa, weird, right? Never thought about
Hmm.
that. So 80% of the company here, it should be focused on selling. That just kind of struck me as really really okay. So then here's the thing that Bai and I talked about that was pretty interesting. I think I'll go to Nadine for her opinion. Nadine, do you believe that the company currently has a strong sales culture?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Okay, good, 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 good. Thank you for being transparent. Great. Why do you believe not yet?
Because I think we get used to the previous culture on the 2.0. We don't
Mhm.
have that sales culture first. We like the reservation team, right? They get used on waiting for inquiry.
Yes.
That the very easy example basically. So they don't have expectation or eagerness to work as a sales, which is outreaching, right?
Mm.
Waiting for the not only waiting for the inquiries.
Yes.
We in sales we need to serve both flow, right? Both outreaching and also both that coming,
Yes.
uh, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's actually the things that also what I think that we don't have that strong sales culture. I don't know if the for the employee stack whether the HR outreaching to the good candidates or only waiting for the applicants. I'm not sure about that.
Very good
But
point.
what I know from the from the other big company, they have one talent recruiter that actually pitching candidates basically.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good point.
That,
Excellent point. We're okay. This is actually kind of a structural issue too, but let's open that up for a discussion, right? Is the outreach part of marketing's responsibility, or is it part of the green bars responsibility to outreach, or is it part of the red bars responsibility to outreach? Let's go to Wyanna. What do you think? Should should the people in the green do also the work of the people in the red, or should they just depend on the people in the red groups?
Tough question actually.
Mm.
Um, I think if for example in the use just the green, so we are like become different organization. It's not NPD anymore, so it's become like a sales, total sales, like
Hmm.
for the entire company. But in um, I believe, okay, how can I see this? I think it should be in each organization. HR have like a person that outreach, like, but they can learn basically how to outreach from us. So, for
Hmm.
example, the HR can have like a person of outreach, but can learn from us out. So each organization should be have the team each in each organization, but we have a chapter as well. How can you know do so basically, we have a chapter, but this chapter deploy to each area that needed
Okay.
specific for the outreach
Excellent.
or like the selling. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a possibility for green to teach red how to do a particular skill, right? And that would
Yeah.
ultimately.
That
Okay.
part. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Kyla. Kyla, what do you think, right? So we have SLAs, and the SLAs do say that, people in the green work on leads, right? But then in order to have a strong sales culture, people in the green should also be hungry. They should kind of like not just wait, right? Like let's go and grab
Mm.
some stuff in. If I don't have any leads, then I am ultimately also responsible for finding a way to sustain my own pipeline. What do you think about that, Kyla? Can that work, or what's your thoughts on this one?
Um, I was thinking about what Moana said was correct. We can adopt the knowledge of the people in green to the
Mhm.
people in red, so we will enhance the skill. But I will also consider it the kind of responsibility that the people in red have. I mean, like when they're focusing on branding, I think it's not an easy job. So um,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about. I'm still questioning whether the people in RATs should be focused on generating leads, but if they have more jobs to it, um, I'm not sure.
Mm.
How should they execute that? Like
Okay.
how exactly would that be specific? Because we cannot transfer knowledge and yeah, just copy it.
Okay, very good. So this sounds like it's an SLA negotiation, right? So what part can we delegate, let's say, to the red people and inspire them to, let's say, create new campaign cards to think of new ways to generate more leads for us? They run the actual campaign, we give the ideas, right? And how much of that maybe could be done by this group itself, but kind of covers the scope of work that's in the red. Nadine, you had an idea.
Yes. Actually, we divided these colors. It's based on the skills, right? And I don't,
Yes.
right? I don't. I'm not really agree if we can expand like the skills to the green skills to go to the red, and they do the same thing with us. I think we separate this because
Mm.
we pursuing one missions, but in a different way, right? In a different
Ah.
with a different equipment basically. So we are aiming to generate more leads, but sales team do the outreach, do the different method, but the red people will do.
Ah,
I think that's how it will works. I think.
okay,
Sure.
okay, very good. So outreach becomes essentially a competency area that salespeople have, right? And that is essentially owned by sales. And then the branding, whatever, is like another icing on the cake, so to speak, right? You
Yeah.
propose, okay, all right, that's actually a pretty cogent point then. Great. I'm going to have a discussion with Lilith today, right, about how to actually structure groups so that we can channel more sales culture through the rest of the company. Nadine, you're right. Recruiting, I don't think they hustle hard enough to, let's say, get good candidates in, right? I think generally they're like, okay, if the person doesn't come up and beg for a job, then well, that's
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
right? Like we'll let that one go. But I don't think that's actually a good approach, right? Especially when there's so many people who need good people on their teams. So
Yes, I think talent recruiter is a sales basically. They sell the candidate to you as a CEO, the one that pays, right,
Yeah.
for the candidate. Yeah.
Yeah,
think
I agree. I
so.
agree. But this consciousness is suddenly becoming more apparent to us, right? It's become more apparent because also your group is developing identity, and this identity is something we want to actually grow. So the idea is that this is where the identity is the strongest right now, but we want to grow that identity across the entire structure here, right? Because ultimately, the people who are working here in the marketing awareness advocacy side, they're supporting your work, right? You're the client essentially of their output. So if their output is meaningless or it doesn't achieve any of your goals, then it doesn't make too much sense either. Okay. All right. That's just a top level kind of strategic discussion. Let's go into the next part, right? Let's go to Nadine. Nadine, what do you have for us today?
For today, we actually want to finish our roadmap basically for the pattern matching.
Okay.
Yes, Kyla, you can lead this basically.
All right, Kyla, let's get this. Okay, should I share the screen? Okay, I'll open it up.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Okay, so just what I've described on the Google Calendar invitations. Basically today, so yesterday, Canadian was emphasizing the point of we need to finish this quickly because apparently this type of concept, this type of documents can be implemented in other platform. It can be useful in so many different ways. So yeah, we need to keep it. We need to finish it quickly.
I
So.
agree.
The main point of today is, of course, the hardest one is the pattern matching rebuttal objections and connecting benefits to the problem. So I've seen that some of us have actually fill in the blank, but I'm not sure whether we have enough time to go over everything. So maybe I'm proposing to have your strategy, that is to pick a random category and just try to go with that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Kyla. Let's try that. So let's try to pattern match essentially what we would see with a particular type of. Okay. Let's pick. Nadine, I'll defer to you. Which category do you want to pick for the pattern matching? Which is the most challenging category so far?
Actually, the one that most challenging is the one that has no current management, looking for management, but they don't know what they need actually.
Okay. Is that
That's
a new category or is that an existing category?
I already put it down on the very right sections. That one, the thread that I mentioned you.
Okay, this one. Okay, got it. So this is a little bit different than category 4. Is that correct, Nadine?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's see. The previous category they already discovered before we even reached the owner. But how can we get any information on the website channels, whether they manage themselves or they have a management team? How do you accuse this owner to build the first gate of engagement? Okay, Nadine, please explain a little bit more about how this works.
Okay, I think this is slightly different. Okay, this one that I referring is the website lead. The pace is faster than the other leads basically. So we create the first meeting, right? And then on the first meeting, they usually if we treat the online canvassing leads, it takes time for us to build the pitch deck, right? But in this case, on the website leads, on the first meeting, they already what you got. Okay, show me what you have. Then we don't really know what is the problem actually, and then what do they want, and how do we can do the pattern matching like very pitching,
I see. So they expect to hear options and not actually have discussion. Is that the situation?
Yes. And
Okay.
they refuse to if I ask like some questions to them first, they answer like I just want to hear what you have first.
Okay. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. Okay, actually, let me think about that. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Okay, I have. Okay, I'll give you some branches first, and then we can go from there. Okay. First branch is this. I had a talk with this guy once upon a time. That was my most ambitious pitch. I think I told you ladies about it with Jimmy Lim, right? So Jimmy Lim, who I'm connected to first degree on LinkedIn now, is the business development and research general manager at Sinar Mas Land, right? So we pitched him that idea of taking his land in Pachatu and giving us an opportunity to develop it for $1 billion, basically, right? And so that was a case of where I had one shot, right? He wasn't going to have any dialogue. You just have to kind of know what they want to hear, okay? So this is where your experience, you kind of have to take a guess, okay, in this particular case. So what I was able to figure out was this. This is a case where you really have to understand, how does this person think, okay? What motivates this person? So, okay, Jimmy Lim, right? He's an executive at Sinar Mas Land. What is he being paid to do? What is he being bonused to do? What does it look like if he fails at his job? Okay, so try to inhabit that mind space. Okay, so he is at pretty much the top level of the company. That means he is probably in a very rare job market. Right? You might think, okay, this guy's a director, but it also means this person might not get another chance at a job, right? If you work, let's say you're a waiter, you can go anywhere else and find a waiting job. But okay, he's a director, so probably going to stay committed to this particular type of work, right? So maybe low risk, but then let's take a look at some of the other things that he's been doing. Okay, so he works on strategy, business development, innovation, research, and analytics. Okay, so that's actually pretty interesting, right? Those are more high risk type things going on, right? Those are like where there's more uncertainty. So let's kind of imagine what kind of company Sinar Mas is, right? Is it a conservative company or is it a very liberal company? What do you think it is, Nadine?
I think it's liberal.
Liberal. Why do you think it's liberal?
Sinarmas, they have a paper factory in Sumatra, right? And
Yep.
it's, it's very like the local people don't really like to by having this factory in
That's more
their land.
conservative then, right? They would prefer not to make different decisions from the decisions they made previously, rather than making more crazy, like,
Oh,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So that sounds like they're more conservative. Like they probably are established. They have an old supply of money. They don't want to mess that up because it's going pretty good, and they just want to like stay on a steady course, right? But ultimately, this one's pretty simple. Look, um, this is actually pretty interesting. This is a trick Siki taught me. Ultimately, this person is here because they want to produce money, right? For the company. They
Yeah.
want to produce something of value. And then here's the thing that they also know. The people at the top also know this secret, and I'll share it with you guys. It's pretty interesting. They know that most ideas are probably going to fail, right? That's pretty normal. I mean, it's just the way that business works, right? But what they really don't want is they don't want to miss out on that one idea that was absolutely correct, right? So Siki Chen taught me this, and he's proven, right? Siki knows what he's doing. He's gotten funding a few times, and he told me this particular trick with people who are big investors, big executives, lots of money, conservative or not, they have this one tendency, okay? He was able to raise like quite a lot of money for his new startup, Runway.io. And he told me this. He said the way you get these people's attention is this. You say, this idea probably won't work. But if it does, it's going to make you and me both very, very rich. Can I get 10 minutes to explain how this idea could work for you? And guess what? That triggers them to say, okay, I'll listen. The reason they want to listen is because they get pitched all day with kind of stupid ideas, right? And they don't want to listen to somebody who thinks that they have a great idea and doesn't know the practical about what it actually might or might not be. But if you come as an informed pitch, if you come with informed credibility, you know yourself this is a crazy idea. You know yourself this might not work. But if it does work, then there's going to be a lot of money made, right, by everybody. They generally will listen to that. And it worked with Jimmy. That's essentially how I approached Jimmy. And he signed up for a talk, right, the very next day. So this is kind of like the mindset that you want to understand and be able to approach for, let's say, an executive or a venture capitalist or this, okay? So your question is, all right, this is an owner who essentially just wants to get to the point, wants to know what we have, and get straight down to business, right, Nadine? Okay, so the first thing you're going to have to do, this is more advanced, is you're going to have to decide who is this person, right? Just from really, really quickly, right? Really, really quickly. What do you know about them? Are they male? Are they female, right? Are they foreigner or are they domestic, right? Are they domestic from Jakarta? Are they domestic from Bali? You're going to have to really quickly kind of take your experience, okay, that you've already spoken with all these different groups of people, identify what this person belongs to, and then start matching this person to the closest person that you can identify this person to, right? You can just start with really simple things like, hey, good morning, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Can we get down to business? Okay. Has there ever been a client that actually talked to you like that? Immediately you want to go back into your memory and you want to think, okay, who talks like that, right? And why did they join Bukit Vista? So if they're straight down to business, like, okay, let's say me. If I talk to salespeople and I feel like this person is a salesperson and they try to do all this stuff, I generally just go get down to the point. What's your budget, sir? I don't have a budget. Please tell me what my options are, right? Because I know what they're doing is they're trying to sense and prod me and get me around these things, right? But this is where if you know that that's like the way I work, right? Then you can go, it sounds like you're a man who wants to get straight down to business, right? And label, because this is what you want to understand. You want to understand, have you understood this person correctly? Okay. And this is how then you start sorting the person into the category and then identifying, okay, which pitch did I give to this person that then fit their particular needs? So if you're pitching in the blind, that's a really good, because a lot of pitches are going to be in the blind. You don't know too much. And they could just say, give me the information. I need it right now, right? So you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to kind of like predict what you want to pitch, right? And this is why really good salespeople, they don't have a deck. They don't have a deck because a deck forces you to go in a certain direction. Do you remember that time, everybody, that we talked to that one kid who came over? He was from Venus and he was pitching us SEO options, right? And he had a deck, right? You remember that, right, babe? Yeah, he was pretty handsome, nice looking guy from Jakarta. I think he went to Venus. It was about a month and a half ago. So he had a deck and he was going to tell me all about his digital marketing agency and all this stuff. And I said, I kind of know this already. He just let it happen, right? He skipped to the end of the deck, right? And he said, okay, all right, this is what I want to talk about. And so that is the correct approach for dealing with the person that you really don't know what essentially they want, right? You need to be able to adapt your pitch according to what they actually do. So you need to constantly do this. You need to constantly sense, all right, who is this person? Maybe you think, okay, this person is like Mark Mannion. He's a relaxed person, Australian. He's in this thing because he wants to have legacy. He's thinking about how his local partners are going to affect him. But then all of a sudden his wife gets in, right? Mark's wife is actually very, very nice, even nicer than he is actually. But let's say his wife is all about business and wants to know, the financials and everything. And then you get the sense that the wife is probably going to make the decision. That's when you need to change your pitch, right? Right away. You can't talk about this legacy because, this gentleman might have to listen to his wife to actually manage the villa, right? Maybe she's the person who's actually going to be managing this villa. Maybe she's the person who wanted to buy the villa in the first place, right? And he doesn't want the headache of it anyway. So this is something you're going to have to detect and then modify your pitch on the fly to be able to adapt, right? So this is the hardest case where you're essentially measuring, you're understanding who this person is. You're constantly like, okay, is this person in this category? Is this person in this category? and you're never. This is real. This is where you're never exactly right. Right? Like maybe you estimated incorrectly. Maybe you thought this person would be more interested in this and you pitched them something different. But here's the way you correct it, Nadine. Here, let's do a simulation of this, okay? Let's say you're pitching me and I'm going to make it confusing for you, okay? So we get to see how this works in person, okay? So Nadine, go ahead and take it away and I'll stop in certain points and show you what you can do to make sure you're tracking me correctly, okay? Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm pitching you.
You're pitching me because I'm going to reveal myself in a way that confuses you, okay? And it will essentially, you're going to have to try to track what direction I'm going and then what exactly I want.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Jing. How are you?
I'm fine, but it's a little bit late. Can we just get straight to the point?
Oh, sounds like you want straight to the business already.
Yeah, and I can see that you're.
Sounds like you know Bukit Vista already.
So.
Sounds like you know Bukit Vista already, sir. Have you known Bukit Vista for long ago?
I guess. I mean, yeah. If I really knew Bukit Vista, I wouldn't have to have this conversation. But I'm talking to you because I want to know more, right? So no, I kind of know it, but I also want to. I want you to tell me what I need to know.
I see. Okay, so you're looking for a property management, am I correct?
Yeah, that's probably why we're here. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we are a property management and based in Bali, in Yogyakarta and Nusa Penida, and we usually helping many property owners to manage their asset in Bali. So you have a property in Bali or Jogja or Penida, Mr. Jing?
I have a property in Bali.
In Bali. Okay. May I know how long the property has been operating?
But I mean that part maybe isn't so important right now. What I want to know is I kind of want to know what you guys do, and I want to know how that might be able to help my property succeed.
I see. Okay. So, in short, in a simple way, we manage your asset to bring the guests to your property, and also manage the whole thing of the marketing strategy and also the hospitality service, and make sure the guests have a good experience in your property. And then also, and also we manage all the financial thing. Is that what you need at the moment?
That is what I need, but that also sounds like what everybody else does here. So is that it?
Actually, we have a very good value in Bukit Vista. May I know where are you now, Mr. Jing?
I'm in California right now.
I see. So your property in Bali, right?
Yes, my property's in Bali.
Okay, so you need. Do you think that hiring property management for you is does it mean you give all the control to the property management, or you need also controlling yourself?
Well, I guess it depends on how well I know the property management company, and this is why I'm here, to just get a sense of if this is going to be a good fit.
I see. Okay. Generally, all of my clients, they're looking for property management, but they don't want to lose the control. So in Bukit Vista, we have these mobile applications called Divigo. You can track all your property performance by Bukit Vista abroad. Just by one click on your phone, handy, you can track all your property performance every day, every time, anywhere.
Okay.
So that's what we got.
Sounds like I'm going to need to serve myself then.
No. It's actually we do all the services for you, but you can just control, so you cannot lose track. That's how we value the transparency. You need to know the payout reports, right? Since the marketing strategy and also the reservation handled by us, you as the owner, generally our client, they need to know the payout report, the bookings report, and everything, and you can control it still, even though you're hiring the property management.
Okay, all right. So that sounds interesting. What other services do you guys offer at the moment?
The services. Okay, so the first one we have the full team of the marketing team, such as digital marketing, market intelligence, data analytics, and everything, to make sure that your property position secure among the 5,000 property in Bali.
Okay.
In the market. And then we have the hospitality service as well, since we don't only bring you the guests, but we give the full experience to your guests. So your guests will be feel happy and will write a good review to your property and build your property legacy. And then we have the full of the financial team to actually managing your payout, your booking reports, and also your expenses report.
Okay. Oh, hold on. My wife is here, actually. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Now I'm Jing's wife. What are you guys talking about? This sounds kind of interesting.
Hi. May I have your name, ma'am?
I'm Mrs. Yang, and you are.
Hi, Mrs. Yang. My name is Nadine, one of business development team in Bukit Vista. Nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to introduce you. Yeah, this is my wife here. And okay, yeah, I think she might be involved in also this property as well. Yeah. Let's see. I missed some things here, but what's I mean, why are you guys different than any other property management company? Tell me that.
Okay, sure, ma'am. So, what makes the most different between us and the other property management is the transparency. I know that probably husband not really look very to the details, but I think wife does, right? So, so.
Oh, you got it! Yeah, my husband's such an idiot.
Usually, generally, always. Okay, and in Bukit Vista, we highly value transparency. So, ma'am, usually the other property management, they give you the payment reports that calculated for monthly calculated, and they give you the sheets of the Excel or the Google Sheets report of the payment, which is very confusing for you to read. And also they only show you the success payment only. But in Bukit Vista, in this mobile app,
I don't care about that. I kind of want to know, like, what sort of like are the best properties that you manage? And because I have a really awesome property, right, and it's very, very nice. I want to know that I belong in a group of people that are similar to me, because I don't want to hang out with like kind of people. Are your property owners awesome? Do they have awesome villas?
Sounds like you need reference.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, okay, yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, yes. Actually, I'm not sure whether you know these people in Bali, but we manage some of the luxury villas in Bali. As you can see, yeah, let me show you this lot 5 and lot 6 properties.
Oh wow, these look nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, they owned by a supermodel in Indonesia. The name is Lily Chandra. Yes, and she is a little socialita. I think you can get along with her because she's
Maybe.
and probably yes.
Okay, back to me. Okay, so that's actually pretty interesting what you told my wife there. All right. Anything else that I should know about?
At the moment, that is the value that we can offer, Mr. Jing. The transparency, that is the thing that we're really proud of as a company.
Okay.
And also our partnership, we have been partnership with 200 properties across Bali, Jogja, and Nusa Penida. So for our credibility, you can also check your own in our website.
Why would I want to check my own if I'm talking with you? Why can't you just tell me?
Oh, okay, sure. I would love to show you because you told me at the very beginning it's already late. Probably you need a short time of discussions.
I'm still here, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. Okay, let me show you.
Show you. All right, let's go ahead and cut that simulation off, right? So, okay, did I give you 3 minutes?
Actually,
yeah, go ahead, babe.
Okay, actually, I want to get in as Mr. Jing. I'm a Jing team here. It was very interesting. You want to go straight forward to the business, but I just wonder, like, what is your main concern here? Because you in US, your property in Bali, are you gonna wait all 24 hours?
Probably not. I mean, that's an obvious question. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be awake 24 hours.
I see. Maybe like, what is your main concern actually?
Well, my main concern is right now to find a credible, trustworthy property management company that can take care of a very, very nice investment, right? We spent a lot of time, spent a lot of effort in creating, I think, something that would be good. And we want to have good guests appreciate it. And yeah, my wife is obviously in good social circle. She admires her standing, and this has been a life project. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the main thing that I can think of at the moment.
Oh, I see. Sound like that you are looking for trustworthy, and your wife also can have in a right circle. That I understand correct.
That is correct. All
Okay.
right, very good.
Okay. I
Okay,
think
go
we
ahead.
have solution for that.
All right, very good, very good. Let's stop right there. Nadine, did you see the difference?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so Wayne took control, and she was able to figure out where I want to go. Right, um, where you're going is you're still pitching. You're hoping to like kind of, I'm leading you in this one, right? But the way that Wayne set it up, now I'm following her now, right? I'm following because she was able to disarm and get me to talk about what my main concerns are. So that is the key lesson that we want to learn there. Whatever it is, try to get some control through that method, right? Try to use the right tone. Generally, male to female, you can just use a more feminine tone, and that works, right? I don't know, female to female. Sometimes females to females can be very brusque, especially if there's another man around, so that's why I simulated like kind of kind of bitchy woman here, right? But but um, but yeah, it's so essential to disarm, right? It's so essential to try to build that rapport. Go from like right here, right? In what we do, we want to build trust and encourage open conversation. Okay, so you're trying a few things, and yes, the labeling, sometimes it works, but if they kind of like want to get to the point and say, okay, you want to get to the point, but I don't want to waste your time, right? Tell me a little bit now about what your main concerns are, and that way I can present the best information to you right now, and we'll be done in 15 minutes, and you don't need to listen anymore if I'm not there, right? So kind of think of it this way. You want the first 10 seconds to get them to listen to the first 1 minute. You want to then say in the 1 minute that gets them to listen for 5 minutes, then the 5 minutes to get them to listen to what you eventually want to say, right? All in all, you probably need about 30 minutes to an hour's time to actually affect somebody's thought process. You're never really going to get it done right away. So kind of like think of a way to open them up a little bit, and then get you a little bit more, and then get a little bit more after that, and get a little bit more after that in terms of the time. Okay, and that way you have delivered. Okay, so that's a pretty good point. Nadine, really good on. Okay, I don't want this to become a coaching session, right? This isn't about that, but this is more about like the strategy of following a person who is not really easy to follow. Okay, Nadine, do you think that approach would work with some of the people that you'd been talking to that were get to the point, get to the point?
Yes, I think I'm getting more sense right now. I'm getting the more context, and now I can see how to deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you've done that, then it goes back into the exact same pattern again, right? So figure out what their main problems are, and then from that, then address each problem with corresponding solution, right? So generally, we know categorically, okay? We know categorically what kind of problems people have, right? They want to save time, okay? They want their property to do well because they're concerned about the legacy, the prestige, the kind of access, right? They want to make money, of course, right? This is an investment, so ideally it should make money. Some of the younger property owners might care about social impact. They want to make sure that the people who they employ are well cared for, and they receive a fair wage, and they're doing some good in the communities that they're participating in. Okay, so these are the primary motivations that are manifested. Okay, those are the manifest motivations. The thing that a really good salesperson understands is what is the unspoken unconscious motivation. Okay, the unspoken unconscious motivation. So these are a little bit more complex, like Ibu Lily, for example, right? What is her unconscious motivation, you think, Nadine?
Unconscious prestige, I think.
She, in what way? How did you want people to feel about her?
That she is a high class woman with a high class property and high class environment. Yeah,
She
I
wants
think
to
that.
be admired, right?
Yeah.
She really, really seeks admiration. And so, Ibu Lily, as long as you maintain a admirable, you admire her, right? Then you could always have a conversation with Ibu Lily. If you start disrespecting her, showing that you don't admire, then she doesn't like you at all, right? You're not my group, so to speak, right? So she will have conversation with you if she admires you. What do you think my underlying motivation is? Oh, no, that's a funny one. Let's ask my wife. what is Jing's underlying motivation, unmanifested?
In this
In
season,
life, yeah. Let's say if you want to know and understand my motivations, what would that be?
success.
Okay. In what way? In what way? In what way?
And anyway, in business and education and
Okay. Achievement, right? Achievement is essentially one of my underlying motivations, right? So I'll do whatever it takes to achieve and whatever the cost or the thing, whatever we'll put it in order to get achievement. So if you understand that Jing cares about uh, achievement is a type of impact, right? Nadine. Impact is
Oh,
achievement. So
oh,
achievement is okay. You have to think of achievement in a few ways, right? Oh, this is a good point. It is independent achievement. Okay, independent achievement versus dependent achievement. Dependent achievement is somebody else tells you you're doing a good job, right? Independent achievement is objective. It's verifiable by anybody. Like if you were to say, is Elon Musk successful? Yeah, he's building rocket ships. He's making electric cars. He's creating all these really interesting innovations, right? Now, if you were to ask, is Elon Musk president of operations successful? Well, maybe that depends on Elon Musk, right? Maybe that depends on what Tesla thinks. Maybe that depends on the Tesla shareholders, what they think. So that is more of a dependent achievement, right? So Jing thinks of like independent achievement. But if you understand that, then you understand like, okay, what particular direction I want to go, and then you can anticipate like where that ends up, right? Let's think about Mark Mannion, right? Mark Mannion is another, or Claire. Claire is a person we also know fairly well, right? Nadine's worked with Claire. What do you think Claire's motivation is, Nadine?
I never met Claire.
You never met Claire. Have you spoken with Claire on air support?
Have-
No. Okay. What about Chris Cabanes? Chris Cabanes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think his motivation is?
I think he just wants everything organized well.
Stability.
Stability. Yeah.
Stability. Chris Cabanes wants stability and privacy, right? Very Northern European attributes, right? Those are very Northern European attributes, stability and privacy. If you go to Sweden, Norway, Finland, Northern Europeans, they like stability. They like their society running very smoothly. They like to have universal health care, universal job protection, very, very stable, right? And privacy. Don't look in my business. My business is none of your business type thing, right? So he's very about stability and privacy. So his motivations. Okay, these are the things that essentially you're going to have to be able. These are the clues that you're going to have to be able to start extracting from each particular scenario, from each particular category to underlie. So the category is actually a level 1 game. This is a level 2 game, right? Because if you know what the underlying motivations are, it doesn't really matter anymore what the category is, okay? Because the category is just what I'm dealing with, right? But how I'm feeling about what I'm dealing with, that is a whole new thing, right? That's a whole new approach. Why do a lot of Westerners go to other Westerners to manage their properties? It's not that they all are different. The Westerners all come in different categories, right? Some have existing management, some have, whatever, some have, they belong to each category, but they sometimes feel more comfortable going to another Westerner, right? Because what I think it is, right? Well, actually, I won't say what I think it is. Let's go to Kyla. Kyla, why do you think that is? Why do, let's say, an expat owner goes to an expat property manager, a Jakarta owner goes to an Indonesian property owner, ideally maybe a Jakarta property manager? Why do people select based on people's similar backgrounds?
Because they have this kind of they believe that when sorry it's okay I think because they believe when they're talking to the right person, they will have excellent understanding. So they will have a conversation eye to eye, like, oh, you understand me, like I'm going to trust you.
Very good. Very good. Remember Maslow pyramid, Kyla, right? Maslow pyramid now. So when you think of like what motivates a person, you have to actually identify what layer of the Maslow pyramid this person is working under, right? And what layer is already covered. If it seems like, let's say, the basics are covered, then the next layer they're going after is safety, generally, right? They're looking for a manager that makes them feel safe. Do I feel safe actually having you look after my property? Okay. After safety, if I can establish that, there's 6 managers and they're all pretty safe, then the next stage is love and belonging, right? Do you make me feel that I am the same, you know, person? Are you my tribe, right? And that I think is also pretty important, right? That goes into the next layer. And then, you work your way up all the way to self-actualization. Do you make me feel self-actualized? Do I feel like you can actually lead me to transform? So these are kind of like some underlying motivation factors that you're going to have to be able to take out, right? You can generally work on safety, Nadine, and love and belonging, right? Those 2 layers of motivation are generally very, very persuasive for most any type of person, right? Choose Bukit Vista because the end benefit is that all these things is a safe decision, right? Don't leave anything to risk. Put it here because 200 property partners have already trusted us here, right? Because the people that look like you, sound like you, talk like you from your background have already done this and they made the choice, right? So this is where you belong. All right. So that type of pitch and that focus is almost universal, right? If you can make somebody feel safe, it can make somebody feel like they belong to a group of a community that is similar to them. They generally will feel very, very trusting, right? Okay, so hopefully that makes some sense. Let's go around and see if we have any questions here. I know we didn't get a chance to do pattern matching, but this is actually the highest level of pattern matching, where you're pattern matching essentially this, right? You identify what is their motivation, and then you identify what feels safe, right? What service that we offer conveys safety. Sometimes it's social proof. You are coming from Jakarta. You have many other property managers that are looking here. We manage dozens of properties owned by Jakarta owners just like yourself. On the day they started, they probably had the same questions as you do, right? Can I trust Bukit Vista? Does Bukit Vista do a good job? And what these property owners have seen until now is that, yes, we're able to lead them through a pandemic. We're able to keep their staff on board. We're able to create profitable situations for these properties, right? Would you like to actually engage and be part of this community? Okay. Does that make you feel better, right? So these are things that essentially, if a person isn't telling you things, they must be feeling, right? Nobody is, I don't know, maybe they could own several villas and they don't need safety. They're like, oh, fuck it. If I lose this villa, I don't care. Okay, then maybe you need to work on the next layer, right? Some people are like that. A villa is nothing to them. They can buy 6 villas at once. So maybe it's about love and belonging. Hey, there's a lot of villa owners out there, but there's not a lot that actually have properties that belong in Bukit Vista. The people who come to Bukit Vista are looking for positive transformation. They're looking to positively transform guests. They're looking to positively transform the way that people see their properties. It becomes a milestone for your legacy. So these are the kind of property partners that we work with. And then we do these particular activities with our property owners on a regular basis so they can feel more part of a community that's making changes on this world. Would you like to be part of the plan to reinvigorate tourism to Bali and make your villa the centerpiece of the future of travel, right? That's kind of like self-actualization, love and belonging pitch. So you might want to try these different levels and see what actually activates them, Nadine, right? In your future pitches, just kind of structure it around the Maslow pyramid and then plug it and see which one catches their attention, right? If you see, you're kind of looking for reaction. If you see they go, and their defense is lower, you probably found the right motivation, and then you just keep on driving the story down that way, right? So that is how I would do it. You need to probe a few times, try different levels of the Maslow pyramid, and then see where you connect. And if you connect there, then just keep on driving that level. If all they care about is safety, I don't want to have problems, I don't want to be distracted, I don't want murders and whatever happening in my property, then drive the safety record of Bukit Vista, right? We've hosted this many guests, we've had this many problems, this is very low compared to the standard rate outside the company. We have 10,000 good reviews and we have 55 bad reviews, right? Something like that. And that gives them essentially something to think about for safety. Okay, Nadine, does this kind of give a envelope around how we actually would manage this type of category of owner?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, all right, cool. Babe, what do you think about this particular method? Is this the end? Is this the final method? Is this like the master method, right? You can kind of apply this, and you don't need to apply anything else now. You just can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the tough one because sometimes they just short I'm good to the point. Okay, I understand you want to get the business what do you want, what kind of underlying motivation on the side. If you don't know, it's just hard,
Yeah.
you have to start. And this is a good simulation. I hope Nadine can do better pitch.
Hey, Nadine, you can actually probe this in the very beginning too as well, right? And I know Kyla's also observing here, so I want to also illustrate this. You can set a few visions for the property, right, at the very beginning. They want to get to the point, then you can start with, okay, I can see you want to get to the point. How would you feel if your property could earn, let's say, 25% more than what you're currently doing? Would that be of interest to you? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, transactional level, right? How would you feel if your property could have impact in the community that it is located in and positively transform guests? Yes. Okay. How would you feel if your property could be remembered as being something that was very, very special and unique, not just for the people who like you, but for the potential thousands of people who will experience it in the future as something that that becomes your legacy here in Bali? No, I'm not that level yet. Okay, so we know essentially where they are, right, on the stack. Think about back into the this is why we integrated BD with community, right? So in community we have the three levels. We have transactional alignment, relationship alignment, and then legacy alignment, right? Try to suss out what level they are in, and then that gives you essentially what you need to talk about. Okay, that gives you essentially the thing. If they're not going to tell you, you might need to throw those out first, right? See what what they are. If they are wholly in transactional, they go I don't really care about relationships with like the locals or whatever. That's not my business. My business is to make money on this. I'm going to sell this villa in 2 years. Oh, okay. Then all we're going to talk about is data science promotes you to get better returns on investment, so that makes your property a more investment worthy grade buy, right, for your future investor. And having transparent reports improves the ability for you to sell the property at a higher price because blah 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 blah. And because Bukit Vista is verifiable, we do this for many years. We have a lot of we're also, our data is shared with universities across Indonesia, and it is used for research material, which is true, right? And so it is very good quality data. It is essentially you can use that as a way of explaining that that's another benefit, right? This is legitimate information, right? So these are ways that you approach somebody who is transactional. If somebody's coming in for relationship, then you talk about your community experts, right? We know all these community experts. They're very happy to work with our property owners. We have, famous chefs, right? Kevin Chucha, right? And he's very happy to entertain your friends when they come to Bali at a very, very friendly rate and blah, 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 like that, right? So you can pitch essentially the relationships that happen within the BV community, right? And if they're looking for legacy, then just talk about like the properties that have look at these reviews, right? These are the reviews that the properties that we manage get, and look at the transformation that's happened for these people. They remember the property, they remember your place, and this is kind of etched into their minds. This is where you can bring your little goodie bag of evidence, right? So bring evidence, bring like happy pictures of guests standing in front of the villa, right? Bring the picture that you ladies took the other day, right? In Canggu. That was a beautiful picture. The one that you're standing next to all the girls, you're opening a restaurant, that's great. We open restaurants with the local community. So when our property owners go, they belong somewhere, right? They go, they eat, they recognize, and generally people enjoy that, right? That is something that is, like you don't get too much of that in the developed world, as a stranger, right? So you can sell that relationship part too as well. That's pretty much it then. Any questions at this? Oh, we've gone over time. Sorry. All right. 8 minutes over time. But Nadine, does that give you enough structure now where you're able to feel confident about how to take these cases where somebody doesn't tell you anything and then peel, and then find what their core motivation is?
Yes, sir. So yesterday I was thinking like this. I was looking for the website leads conversion, right?
Mhm.
And I was the one who did the pitchings, and I was thinking I'm doing good on the outreaching and converting the leads that we do outreaching. But this website leads, they come to us first. Why is this even harder? That's why they come to us first. Why is this even harder? And then I told Kyla, we need to learn the pattern matching. Like I think I need to learn more about the quick pattern matching, because website leads, the meeting are only 15 minutes. I need to be the beginner again for this.
Mhm.
I think
It's okay. It's perfectly fine, actually, Nadine. It's more abstract, so it's more free form, and in a more free form, this is the difference between like a choreography and a improvisational, right? So before we're doing more choreography, right? We know this dance is going to start with this movement, and then that movement, and then we're going to do this. It's like when you taught me how to do the first TikTok dance that we did, right? So we're in I think it was like this, right? Okay. So that, yeah, that thing. So that's choreography. That is essentially following a set pathway. Improvisational, you kind of go where you need to go based on what the other person has said, right? And that is generally the way all higher level negotiations are done. You don't know what the other person might say. You just have to be kind of like ready, right? And it's very intimidating at first because it's like, oh, I have no idea where this is going to go. But eventually you find your way, and eventually you already know how to do it, because this is conversation, right? The essence of conversations are all improvised. We don't know what we're going to talk about like necessarily at each moment. We don't like just read a script. Jing says this to Nadine. Nadine says this back to Jing. Jing then responds this way. It's not a script, so it's improvisational, right? And so it's essentially having that same flexibility and agility, but purposeful, knowing that you want to reach a certain goal at the end. Believe it or not, you already have practice doing this. When you chair a meeting, that's essentially what you're doing as well, right? When you're chairing a meeting, it's the same thing. You're trying to reach a decision, a goal, a particular purpose at the end of the discussion. So you have it in you. It's just it just needs to be practiced, and you'll be able to bring it out. Okay, and then you can freestyle like crazy. You're doing really good though. You're doing really good. But I think a few things, right? One, recap the whole thing, right? I got 2 minutes. I'll recap the whole thing. So one, identify the person as much as possible. Jimmy Lim, right? Try to figure out what position this person is standing in. If you can, do a little bit of research. What is it called? Spy on them a little bit, right? Try to get some context so that you can identify which bucket they kind of go into. Two, once you identify this person, try to match the person with a previous person that you've talked to before, right? And do your best to connect. Okay.
Right.
After a certain point, you're going to realize everybody, after maybe 10 different people, you can start matching them into these categories, right? Categorically, there's probably only 10, 12 different types of reasons that somebody's approaching you. There's hundreds of people, thousands of people, millions of people, but the reason they're approaching you is generally pretty limited. So figure out what that reason is and quickly identify it. Third thing is work on motivations, okay? Work on understanding, what is this person motivated by? Are they motivated by transaction? Are they motivated by a relationship? Are they motivated by legacy? That is a very simple, easy way to determine where they're going to go. Once you understand their motivation, you have control, okay? You know essentially what you need to talk about. You know what you can actually deliver that satisfies their motivation, and then that will sound really good to them, right? Ultimately, okay. So those are something like the key points that I want to recap on. All right. Cool. Good. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Cool.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I'll let everyone get to their next thing and have a good day. All right. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.